More than 2 million emergency calls are made every year in Victoria.
You're not going to die, mate. You're not going to die.
Well done.
One call every 12 seconds.
Securing the survivor.
On the front line,
You're with the ambulance. We've got ya.
paramedics work around the clock,
You're being very, very brave.
fighting to save lives.
Pass me your hand. It's okay.
Cameras capture unguarded moments
Doing a good job, buddy.
of compassion
Hello, look where you are.
Is that better?
Yeah.
and laughter.
We got it.
This is not a catastrophe.
It's all part of the daily lives
Congratulations!
of these emergency service heroes.
It's Emily Long. I'll look after you, I promise.
On this episode of Paramedics,
She got scared.
a young woman's heartbreaking battle with life-threatening diabetes.
So you understand what's happening?
The love is obvious, but Anna's one of the sickest patients I've seen in a long time, and she's going to have to fight really hard to survive this.
Almost at the hospital there, Anna, okay?
She hasn't spoken.
A little girl's terrifying seizure.
Do you know where you are?
It's always concerning when they don't wake up. If it was my kids, I'd be beside myself.
Have you ever been in an ambulance before?
And a career highlight for Mike and Eamon.
I feel like you need a cake.
Yeah, let's get a cake, mate.
What if I burst out of the cake?
That's not celebration, that's punishment.
Emergency services, tell me exactly what's happened.
Well, my daughter is diabetic and she's moving without control.
All right, is she conscious and breathing?
Anna, you know where you are? No, she doesn't respond.
A distressed mum and dad have given their 33-year-old daughter insulin, but she's slipping into a diabetic coma.
I just checked her sugar is still high, breathing heavily.
All right, so I'm organising some help for you now, okay? Stay on the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
Mobile intensive care paramedic Cullen is responding to the Code 1 time critical call-out.
I don't know at this stage if the blood sugar is high or if the blood sugar is low, but either way, it can be a life-threatening emergency. The brain is starved of sugar, so therefore it can't function properly.
She's trying to speak, but she can't speak. Oh, boy.
Okay, just stay with her, all right?
As Cullen heads into the patient's house, another paramedic crew has also arrived to assist.
Oh, no.
Still high.
Still high, so the sugar is high.
Anna's parents, Tanasi and Aliki, watch on helplessly as their daughter appears to be shutting down.
Anna, can you squeeze my hands for me? Squeeze my hands as hard as you can. Squeeze my hands, please. That's it. Can you squeeze this one as well, your left hand? No? Okay. How long has she been breathing like this?
5-10 minutes.
5-10 minutes.
She got scared.
Yeah.
I take a sugar reading and it's off the charts. It's just saying high. And that means that she's having a DKA episode.
Can you respond to me at all?
Diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA, is a life-threatening diabetic emergency where you have severely high blood sugars and acidic blood, and it can lead to coma and death.
Bit of a bump coming up. Ready, set, go. Sorry.
You're the slowest Code 1 driver until we hit a beat.
Mike and Eamon are also on a Code 1 call. They're on the way to a 34-year-old woman suffering from a potentially dangerous heart condition called SVT.
SVT, supraventricular tachycardia, it's where your heart's beating 2 to 3 times faster than it normally should. You're not getting enough time for your heart to relax and get filled with oxygen-rich blood. In the worst case, if this goes untreated, it can lead to death. So we don't want to muck around, we want to get there pretty quickly. Don't mind me, dude in the truck. I'm not going.
And that
He almost blocked me off. So most importantly, mate, you've got 6 kilometres to think about this. What's this young lady's name? Eamon and I, since the first day we worked together, have this tradition of always trying to guess the patient's name before we arrive. It's a bit of fun. We've never gotten it right. I don't know what you'd win, but we always give it a go.
Her name is going to be Bridget.
Okay, yep.
You got any feelings?
I'm actually feeling Sarah.
Sarah, okay. One day, we've got to get it. Like, it's going to happen. So, I guess Bridget, and Foxy doesn't believe it, but I'm a bit of an oracle when it comes to these things. Mr. Science over there is playing a numbers game, and he's guessed Sarah because there's 6 million Sarahs in the world. But I know Bridget. Oh, Bridget. What have you done now?
It's not going to be Bridget.
This looks like a Bridget neighbourhood.
Eamon has no idea. He predicts the postcode and the culture and the house, and no good. Today, I will win. It's going to be Sarah. There we go.
Let's go do some ambulance stuff.
Go do some ambulance stuff.
Emergency services, tell me exactly what happened.
My 8-year-old daughter has her jaws clenched. She was just standing there. She's wet herself.
Is she awake?
She's awake.
She's not acknowledging me at all.
She's standing there, not looking at us. She's looking into the distance, and now she's basically just fallen to the ground.
Okay, is her jaw still clenched?
Her jaw's still clenched. She won't open it.
Are you breathing? You okay? On your side. On your side.
Veteran paramedic Glennis is responding to the Code 1 call.
Come on, mate, get over.
One of the first females to become a specialised intensive care MICA paramedic, she still dreads critical cases involving children.
There are some cases that I feel really hit a nerve with me and I want to get there as quickly as I can. And if I can't get there, I feel a little bit jittery. An 8-year-old continuous seizing child is one of those cases.
You wouldn't move over, would you, mate? Oh, now you do.
Seizures are potentially very dangerous. If they've seized for a long period of time, their whole body's convulsing and they're not breathing adequately, so their brain, heart and other major organs aren't getting enough oxygen. So that's potentially very harmful for the child.
You just keep staying right with her, keep talking to her and tell me if anything changes, okay?
Can you talk, Lana?
Can you talk?
No, she can't talk.
Just keep watching her. You were doing really well.
Talk to Mummy. Do you know who I am? Lana, do you know where you are?
This is kind of freaking us out.
Okay, everything has been arranged already and I'm going to stay on the phone with you.
Hello.
And she's on the kitchen floor on Bob.
When I first walk in the house, everyone looks petrified. For parents in this situation, this must be horrifying. They've never seen this before. Their little 8-year-old girl is seizing for the first time and they can't understand why it's happening.
She's standing there.
Standing upright, and we just thought she was looking off into the distance.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, she's...
Her head tilted and she was just staring off like this and
right.
response out of her.
Has she ever done this before?
No.
Okay.
She still won't talk to us.
Okay, we've been incontinent as well.
Yeah, we have,
okay.
and that's not normal.
So, what she's had is a little absent seizure. All this vacant staring leads me to think that she's having an absent seizure. So let me have a little look and see how all her little numbers are faring. Absent seizures are different from total body twitching. Within the brain, there is still abnormal electrical activity, but the body remains quite stiff and they're just not there for a period of time.
36.4, so we're not febrile.
Even those seizures are problematic because we've got this electrical current that's abnormal.
Lana, I'm just taking your blood pressure and seeing how you're going, love.
If left for long periods of time, that can have some pretty bad consequences for the brain.
Oh, it's not good feeling bad, is it?
Hello.
Mike and Eamon have been called out to look after a young woman with a worryingly fast heart rate.
G'day, how are ya?
One of the most promising signs is when they greet you at the door. It immediately says to me that you've got enough blood pressure to be able to stand up. So I'm thinking this patient is going to be reasonably well. And then, of course, one of the first things we want to know with all of our patients is, what's your name? What's your name?
Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. I'm Eamon. Are we here to see you, Sarah?
Yeah.
No way.
Lovely to meet you.
Sarah! Sarah!
Foxy's done it!
Sarah. Sarah!
Yeah. What are the chances?
It's a big day. You know, I've had some proud moments in my career. I've delivered a baby, I've saved a few lives, but Today, I won the name game.
What's been happening?
My heart rate's been going pretty fast and I just have this really, heavy feeling in my chest.
Okay.
And I've got a bad headache.
Gotcha. Look, even though I am internally flawed that her name is Sarah, I've got to put on a professional face and make sure that she is okay. Because at the end of the day, we've got a job to do. Do you have any medical problems?
Yeah, I have quite a few.
What have you got?
I've got EDS, I've got epilepsy, I've got neurocystis, I've got autonomic neuropathy, I've got gastroparesis.
Okay. Gosh, so there's a lot going on. Do you have any palpitations?
Yeah.
So you can feel your sort of heart racing as well? Okay.
Just some stickers going on your chest.
I really like to use your SVT. Do you get a bit of that as well from time to time?
I get SVT, I get long QT.
Okay.
Sarah's got a laundry list of medical conditions. So that's straight away a red flag to me that something really serious could be going on today.
Chest sounds nice and clear. The initial ECG looks reasonable, Foxy?
Yeah, it looks okay. A little bit quick, but that's probably pretty normal for you sometimes.
So we take a picture of Sarah's heart and it does appear to be in a normal cardiac rhythm, albeit a little bit fast. However, we only get a narrow view into her heart. She needs some more blood tests up at the hospital. And given the fact that she still has those chest pains, it's a concern for us. So we need to get those investigated. I can't believe your name's Sarah. I'm going to confess something. When we were in the truck, we were trying to guess what your name would be.
Yeah.
I kid you not, Mike guessed that your name was Sarah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But we decide that Sarah is stable enough and that we can have a bit of a conversation and a laugh with her. And she's been part of a significant moment for Foxy and I. She needs to know that she is the patient who we finally guessed. I couldn't believe it. When you said his name was Sarah, I nearly fell over.
Cool.
However, she doesn't seem very excited. Foxy, do you want to come and bask in your glory that this is Sarah?
You've made me win. That's the best thing ever.
Okay.
She doesn't seem that impressed. Does she realise how hard this game is?
Yeah, so Foxy had you pegged in as a Sarah, and I guess Bridget.
Yeah.
She has no clue how many hundreds of patients we've been to, how much I've been training, how much I've been checking the common names, and I finally got one right.
I can't believe you got one right.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. She's got a history of heart problems, and if she's had an episode earlier today, there's every chance she could flick back into that abnormal rhythm at any time.
So, what's your story, Sarah? What do you do with yourself?
I am a peer worker in mental health.
Nice.
Yeah. Hearing voices and dual diagnosis because I used to be a drug addict.
Gotcha. And how long have you been clean for?
About 16 years.
Awesome, that's amazing. And now you're helping other people get through their own addictions.
Yeah.
So have you seen a few people turn a corner with it all?
Yeah.
That's awesome. What gets you through? Because you've obviously had a lot of adversity in your life.
My wife and my family and a couple of my friends.
So your heart rate's coming down. It's 102 at the moment. Blood pressure's great. Sats are good. ECG's unchanged.
I just want to go home.
No. Look, no one likes the hospital. And if I didn't have to drag you up there, I wouldn't. But we've just got to be cautious about it, yeah?
Just pulling up now. We've arrived at the hospital and everything's still pretty stable, which is excellent, but Sarah needs to go in, probably chat to a cardiologist, get some blood tests, a lot more tracings of her heart. Hopefully everything works out well for her.
Sarah.
She was a Sarah, and she was a nice Sarah.
We got it.
There's no we about this, mate.
You did it.
Yes.
I feel like you need a cake.
Yeah, let's get a cake.
What if I burst out of the cake?
That's definitely not something I want to see. I do not want to see Eamon burst out of a cake. That's nightmare stuff. That's not celebration. That's punishment.
Sarah. Who would have thought it'd be a Sarah?
Me.
Yeah, true. You would have got it.
Clearly.
Lana, is there a pain in anywhere? In your head or anything?
8-year-old Lana is not responding after suffering a frightening seizure for the first time.
Is there a headache, my love?
Intensive care paramedic Glennis is trying to find answers for terrified parents Annabelle and Bob.
Was she originally sitting on the chair?
No, she was just standing here on the corner.
Yeah.
And I've sort of gotten her and I've gone, Lana, 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 and then where she just wasn't looking.
What were the eyes doing? Were they doing funny back and back forward?
Yeah, but they were like, it's almost like her head was almost moving and looking like this, like there was something flying around the room.
First-time seizures are always complicated. We don't know why they've happened. Has Lana been well lately?
Oh, she's been fine.
Was it a result of a head injury? Is it seizure activity like epilepsy? Or is it because they've got a fever? No coughs, colds, anything like that?
Nothing.
Or is it something a little bit more sinister? It could be meningitis. And we look for those things. There's always the off chance that it's something a little bit left of centre. Everyone else has been fit and healthy?
Yes.
Yeah?
Everyone should be going to hospital, should be me.
What's been wrong with you?
To give birth.
Oh my goodness! How many will that make?
4.
8 months pregnant, Lana's mum Annabelle is shocked about the dramatic turn of events.
Sweetheart, she hasn't spoken.
No.
I was terrified, absolutely terrified, not knowing what was going on. It was so out of the blue, there was nothing that preempted it. All of a sudden, your whole world just kind of falls apart. It's like, oh, okay. You feel a bit numb, you really do.
What's your name?
What's your name?
The entire time I'm dealing with Lana, I've got a little friend on my shoulder. There's little Parker, and she's trying to help and she's trying to be comforting to her sister. Who's this? Is that Bingo? And I'm very aware that there's a lot of love in the room for this little girl. Lana was just staring off into space, like an absent seizure.
Another paramedic team will help get Lana to hospital for further tests.
We're just post-ictal at the moment. We've had a little vomit. Lana's now resting, and she's in what we call a post-ictal period, where they're calm and their whole body's relaxing and they're waking up. It can last 5 minutes, it can last half a day. In children, we're hoping that she'll start to wake up within about 20 to 25 minutes. Just because we have no history of seizure activity, don't know why she's done it in the first place, and I don't know if she'll have a second.
Yeah.
There's always a concern when you've had one seizure that you'll have multiple. The problem with continuous seizures is that they don't breathe adequately. So worst case scenario, we have to induce them into a coma and take over their breathing. You still don't want to say hello to me, do you?
Anna, I want to have a listen to your breathing.
33-year-old Anna is slipping into a potentially fatal diabetic coma.
Would you like to lie back again?
Intensive care paramedic Cullen needs to find answers fast.
Other than diabetes, does she have any other medical problems?
Yes, her kidneys is on dialysis.
And how often does she have dialysis?
Every second day.
Every second day, okay.
Anna was just 8 years old when her first diabetic episode nearly took her life.
So there's been a few things going on.
Since then, her parents, Tanasi and Aliki, have witnessed the diabetes wreaking havoc on their daughter's health. Her kidneys are failing, and she has lost the sight in her right eye.
Has she been well the last few days?
No, she's sick.
In what way has she been sick?
Vomiting, her head, she's got this condition.
Has she been drinking and eating normally? No?
For years, Anna's quality of life has been severely compromised, and she's now on the wait list for both a kidney and pancreas transplant.
Chatting to Anna's parents, I get a feel for how chronically ill she is. Not only does she have diabetes, she has renal failure, kidney problems, which make her an incredibly complex patient to have to manage.
Can you poke your tongue out for me? Just show me your tongue. Yeah, she's very dry. She's possibly on fluid restriction as well, being in dialysis.
If I give her fluid to treat her DKA at the moment, that could make her renal failure worse. So I need to be really, really careful about how I manage her and what I actually do for her before getting her to hospital.
Hasn't got great veins, so I might...
Oh, her veins are bad.
Yeah, I know. I think we need to make a decision that because of we're only 5 minutes from Frankston, and being dialysis, I'm not going to touch that arm. The risk of infection and those sorts of things for her might be actually better off letting hospital sort it out with ultrasound.
Anna's one of the sickest patients I've seen in a long time, but I can't do anything for her because I might actually make her sicker than she is now. The best thing that I can do is get her directly to hospital because ultimately she may die from this today.
Tony, do you sleep?
What are we talking a night?
It's terrible. I probably average maybe 5 hours.
Yeah.
New partners Marley and Taney have just started their shift and are getting to know each other.
Having little people, and having a medically unwell child as well.
Yeah.
We find ourselves up and down quite a bit throughout the night.
Yeah.
Wait.
40-year-old Taney and her husband Brett have 4 kids. Juggling mum duties with her full-time job as a paramedic is a constant challenge.
It can be chaotic sometimes. People say to me, you've got your hands full. And I know it sounds corny, but I say, but my heart's even fuller. When you've got love, you've got it all.
But parenthood has also brought heartache.
So Jonty, our eldest child, was diagnosed with epilepsy when he was 14 months old, which is resistant to medications. Children like him are at risk of sudden unexplained death. We were told that if he survived to 10, to party like he was 18 because the neurologist didn't think he would. And we decided to do our best to make his life the best, the most full, and he's almost 14.
Catch. Good boy.
Jonty is also looked after by his best mate, seizure alert dog, Forrest.
Speak. Good boy.
The canine carer the family never dreamed they'd be able to afford.
So Forrest came into our lives because of the incredible work colleagues at my station. They said, hey, we've found these dogs. They're 2 years in the making and $26,000, but don't worry, we're going to have this covered for you. It was really humbling.
Love you, buddy.
I just couldn't imagine having a workplace that's so supportive. I don't think we could ever pay them.
Love you.
I love you too.
But despite all her challenges, the supermum is committed to her career.
I'm really passionate about being a working mum. People always say, you're crazy, you work full time, you've got 4 kids. I couldn't imagine life without my job. The role you play within the community and the respect you get from everybody, it is really incredible. It's such a special job.
So Marley, we've been dispatched to a 30-year-old male who has fallen off an electric skateboard, unknown what speed. He is conscious and breathing, but he has injuries to his right arm and right leg. Hope he had his arm and knee pads on.
Yep, the cool kids wear those these days.
I've seen some really nasty injuries from skateboarders and scooters. So when I go bike riding, I wear a mouthguard, a helmet, safety goggles. I would much rather look like a bit of a goose than end up in a hospital bed.
Down here on the right, where the umbrella is. And it's a hill, so he could have had a bit of speed.
Oh, he's laying on the ground still.
Crikey. He's injured. He's injured his arm. Hello, how you going?
The team arrive to find skateboarder Tim unable to move.
Tell us what's happened today.
Got a new skateboard.
Yeah.
My partner and I were racing down the hill.
Yes.
The brakes work really well.
Too well? Okay, so you've come off?
Yeah, got to about 40.
Yep. Now, did you have your helmet on?
No.
40-kilometre impacts with no protection, that's huge.
Didn't bang your head?
A little bit on the chin.
Okay, and you didn't lose consciousness?
I think I did.
Okay.
Tim's partner Rachel didn't see the crash, but is horrified with how she found him moments after.
Face had gone almost like a grey colour and he was saying to me that he couldn't see. I think he'd gone into a little bit of shock. He couldn't move his arm and couldn't move his leg, so I'm worried that there's quite a few serious injuries happening here.
Oh.
We're dealing with injuries that you could see in a motorbike accident. I'm thinking head injury, I'm thinking fractures, there could be internal injuries or spinal injuries.
He's got quite a graze on his chest.
There's potential for big damage.
Who's this, my love? You grab Daryl and hold Daryl.
Come here, sweetie. I'm going to put you on the ambulance bed, OK?
Intensive care paramedic Glennis is taking 8-year-old Lana to hospital.
Whoa, you picked a bumpy road.
The little girl's just had her first ever seizure, and the worry is there's more to come.
Hello, Lana. It's very frightening, isn't it, Dad? Yes.
Lana's dad, Bob, is riding in the ambulance, while his heavily pregnant wife, Annabelle, stays at home with their 2 other daughters.
OK, let's rock and roll.
Lana, she's my world. She's my firstborn child. I wanted to cry. I didn't, but I really kind of had to hold it all back. It was really scary and heartbreaking. She's never had a seizure, she's never had anything. You just sort of start to freak out and wonder what's caused it.
So what grade is Lana in?
She started grade 3.
Just grade 3. Oh, and you're normally very fit and healthy? Does Lana do any sports at the moment?
She does cricket.
Cricket?
Karate.
No way. Auskick. Lana, do you have any pain anywhere? Do you know where you are? Do you know where you are? Have you ever been in an ambulance before? Hey? Lana's still unresponsive. It's always concerning when they don't wake up as quickly as I'd like. It is heartbreaking to see her like this. I can't seem to find a source of anything at the moment, so it requires an investigation. And how's she been going at school?
Yeah, good.
Good?
Yeah.
You never noticed episodes of like daydreaming?
Yeah, she does daydream a lot. You can be talking to her and something will catch her eye and that's it, you've lost her.
So children can have periods of what we call daydreaming. What they're actually having might be a series of micro seizures where they just blank out.
If Lana has been seizing instead of daydreaming, it could mean she has a form of epilepsy.
At the end of the day, when I've ruled out everything else, the diagnosis of epilepsy, the one I'm discussing with Bob, is very confronting. It's a lifelong journey for the child, and it also is a very scary reality for the parents. They'll look to see whether there's the presence of those tiny little focal seizures that just blank out.
Definitely worried that things are now going to change for us as a family. Is this going to affect her for life now? You can't drive, you can't play certain sport. You don't want her to miss out. She loves playing cricket, she loves playing football, she loves running, she loves climbing, she loves doing all of these things. And in your head you're going, are we going to have to stop her from doing all of these?
So blood pressure's 137 on 90, heart rate is 94.
Taney and Marley suspect electric skateboarder Tim has done some serious damage. He crashed doing 40 kilometres per hour without wearing protective gear.
You got a couple of nasty gravel rash grazes there. They'll sting in the shower, that's for sure.
Tim was racing his partner Rachel and dog Queenie down the hill.
Oh.
Tim's not usually someone who complains much about being injured, so if he can't move, he's not one to play up on this, so I think something's going to be wrong.
Is it the right side that's hurting?
Right side,
yeah.
Right
okay.
my right knee, I'm really not sure about.
All right.
The clunky.
How much pain are you in?
About a 9 with the
About
shoulder.
a 9? Okay.
9 at the shoulder.
No worries. So I'm going to pop a little needle in your arm and then we'll get you some pain relief.
Oh.
Tim tells us that he's got a sore shoulder and a sore knee, but given the amount of pain Tim appears to be in, we are worried those injuries can be distracting for maybe a head injury or a spinal injury, so it's something that we have to be mindful of.
See if you've got any neck pain.
Just on the shoulder.
But not when I'm pushing?
Oh, ever so slightly there.
Okay. Okay.
Neck pain significant in a trauma where you've hit your head. It can be quite a catastrophic injury down the track.
Do you want a collar and?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a green whistle to breathe on as well. It's really good stuff.
Powerful pain relief will now allow Taney and Marley to assess the extent of Tim's injuries.
You've got a couple of grazes on your knee.
Nasty grazes there. Are you able to lay this leg out flat at all? If it's too sore, then no. Given that Tim can't straighten his leg, I'm really concerned that he might have actually injured a ligament. We're not just concerned about the bones of the knees. Injuries to ligaments can be just as debilitating. He may need surgery, rehab, physiotherapy. He might not be able to work.
What do you do for work?
I make cat enclosures.
Cat enclosures.
Poor Tim. I don't think he'll be building many cat enclosures for quite some time. He cut his trousers.
Okay.
Thank God I wear underwear today.
Yes, this is good advertisement for wearing underwear today.
You could just tell all our patients to wear underwear most days, that'd be very appreciated.
It's definitely a Tim trait to try to make light of situations. He'll try to put my mind at ease and make it easier for the paramedics.
Oh.
But can still see that there's pain behind that.
We're going to load you up with as much pain relief as we've got to be able to move you.
So I started worrying about long-term, I guess, what is going to happen here.
Just relax.
Just try and relax as much as you can.
Anna, we're going to take you up to hospital and they're going to look after you there.
Intensive care paramedic Cullen has to get critically ill Anna to hospital as she's slipping into a diabetic coma.
Just to let you know, I'm not going to put a needle in her arm because she's got very difficult veins, and being a dialysis patient, the risk of infection for her is too high considering how close Frankston Hospital is. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah. Tanasi and Aliki have seen a disturbing decline in their daughter's health from when she was just 8 years old.
It's her blood sugar, and see how her breathing, how she's breathing in and then long out? It means her body's trying to cope with the high blood sugar.
Now 33, Anna doesn't just have to make it through today. Her life depends on both a kidney and pancreas transplant.
So you understand what's happening? Anna, can you understand what's happening? You had an episode like you had when you were 8 years old.
This must be really hard for Anna's mum and her dad. The love is obvious, and they would have had struggles over many, many years with this on a daily basis. But it doesn't matter how many times, being a parent myself, I reckon it'd break your heart every time you see your daughter this sick.
Just look at me, we've got a wheelchair. Can you sit up for me again? Just like before, yeah? Sit forward. That's it. We just need you to push up slightly. Stand up, stand tall. That's it.
As we're moving Anna onto the wheelchair, it really hits home to me how fragile and how vulnerable she is.
Go. Here we go. Anna, we're just taking off, all right?
It's hard to believe Anna's only 33 years old. She should be in the prime of her life, but at the moment she's living a life sentence in a body with chronic illness.
Good afternoon, Frankston. We're coming to you with a 33-year-old female who presents today with DKA. Our ETA to you is approximately 5 minutes.
As we're driving to hospital, I look at Anna and I think, I hope at some stage in the near future she gets a bit of a break and gets those organs that she needs.
Almost at the hospital there, Anna, okay?
Because until she has kidneys that function properly and a pancreas that can release insulin, she is going to be on the merry-go-round all the time. Anna's not going into hospital for just a few days. She's going to be in there for weeks and months. And she's going to have to fight really hard to survive this.
Are we ready to go, Tim?
Yes. Taney and Marley are ready to move badly injured electric skateboarder Tim. Falling off at high speed while racing his girlfriend Rachel and dog Queenie has left him with serious shoulder and knee damage, at the very least.
Ready, set, go, deep breath.
Good job, doing well. Now, I just want to have a quick feel down your back, okay? Anytime somebody's had a fall, come off a skateboard, a bike, been in a car accident, we will do a spinal clearance. You tell me if you feel pain, okay?
That's good, it's just the shoulder.
Just the shoulder still? No pain where my fingers are at all?
No, everything's good.
No? Good. He has some tenderness in his neck.
Ready, set, go, up.
But he has no other signs of spinal cord injury. He's got good movement and sensation of his arms and limbs. So that's a good sign. Thank you, everybody. That was great.
That was pretty cool.
You're more than welcome to come with us if you like.
Did you want to take Queenie back?
Yeah. Oh, Queenie, stop it. Put a crown on her and bring her. She's gorgeous.
Any job involving a dog is the best job. Dog lovers get us, we get dog lovers, so it's really great. And Queenie was our MVP of that job. She was amazing.
So, Rach, how long have you known each other?
We've been together about 5 years now.
Yeah? Where'd you meet?
Tinder, of all places.
Kindergarten?
So Tinder, like
Tinder.
that.
Oh, I thought you meant kindergarten. I was like, hang on a minute.
I was going to say, that's a sweet story.
Tinder. I met my husband when I was 15. There was phone boxes then, not Tinder. I had to drop some coins in and ring and hope that he answered, not his mum or dad.
There was a lot of douchebags on there.
Oh, and he's okay though?
Yeah, he just wasn't a douchebag to me, just to other people, I suppose.
Oh, okay, well that's good.
It's a really interesting idea that you meet people that you never would have met otherwise.
Yes.
I never would have built up the courage to talk to Rach out in the real world, so it's...
Aww.
He wasn't my usual go-to, but I just found him super easy to talk to, and 5 years on, I could probably tear up, but I love him to bits. He drives me nuts many a times, but he's still my best friend, and I want to share everything with him, and I think life would just be empty without Tim. He's my rock and my safe place.
How's your pain now, Tim? Is it okay now that we're moving?
Yeah, the shoulder goes up to a 6 every now and again.
All right, I can give you some more ketamine and I can give you some more morphine.
I really feel for Tim. He's huffing and puffing in pain again. He really looks uncomfortable. These are serious injuries.
If 2020 wasn't a bad enough year for you, Tim.
We were pretty lucky this year. It's been a few months off, but...
Cat enclosure business was still booming during COVID.
Yeah. Oh, so busy. He's booked up till March now.
Yeah. Just about to turn into the hospital.
With the injuries Tim's got, he is probably going to need some surgery. He'll definitely need some rehab. And given his job, he's a tradie. He builds cat enclosures. He might not be able to have the lifestyle that he and Rachel are used to.
All right, you made it.
Yeah, given that he works in a trade that uses his arm, potentially going to not be able to work again.
It's going to be a catastrophe.
That it will be. For the people who have ordered their cat cages.
Our job can be really stressful. So when we get back in the car and it's just Marley and I, we have a little bit of a laugh. It's no disrespect to anybody. It's just one of our ways that we cope and deal with the way our jobs go.
There's your pun. This is not a catastrophe.
What's that teddy bear's name again?
Darryl Dog.
Now I can see for the first time you've got beautiful green eyes.
Glennis's 8-year-old patient Lana is finally starting to wake up after her first seizure.
Who's that?
He's okay.
No one's more relieved than her dad, Bob. Lana's his eldest of 3 girls, with another baby only weeks away.
She gets her eyes from her dad.
Gets her eyes from the dad. Dad had to throw that in. Hello. Look where you are. Having her open her eyes is fantastic because I know she's awakening and hopefully no more seizures. Do you know if you're having a girl or a boy?
Another girl.
4 beautiful girls. How lucky is your dad?
Super lucky dad. They're all named after superheroes. Lana is named after Superman's high school girlfriend, Lana Lane. Clark is Clark Kent.
Clark Kent, okay.
Parker is Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
I've got that.
And Kara is Supergirl. That likes Superman.
So who are your best friends at school? What are their names? Chloe. How many boyfriends have you got? 1? Just 1. In 30 years of ambulance, what I've come to realise is that bedside manner is all important. The way we talk with the child, the way we talk with the parents, the way we put them at ease helps enormously in these situations. How are you feeling? Do you have a headache at all? Is there any pain in the head? There is. But I've always got one eye on the monitor. I've got one eye on her general demeanour, and I'm always watching out just to see if anything evolves, just to see whether she has another seizure or anything else untoward. Lana, we're not far off the hospital now, darling. There's a lot of investigation that Lana will have to go through over the next coming months, and having all those electrodes on her skull will be very confronting for her and her family. Let's go and say hello to the lovely nurses and doctors. I don't think they're out of the woods yet. Until they really get a handle on the diagnosis and possibly medication to control it, there's always the fear that this will happen again. For any parent, this is very confronting, and I know if it was my kids, I'd be beside myself. Let's get you inside.
It's been 8 weeks since Anna was rushed to hospital after falling into a diabetic coma.
You had an episode like you had when you were 8-year-old.
She was finally well enough to come home. But life is still a struggle as she waits for a new kidney and pancreas.
Every day for Anna is the roll of the dice. How quickly she gets those organs could decide how long she lives for. I'm really hoping for Anna that that day comes sooner rather than later.
Are we here to see you, Sarah?
Yeah.
Lovely to meet you.
At long last, Mike and Eamon finally predicted a patient's name.
I kid you not, Mike guessed that your name was Sarah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
With Sarah's long list of medical problems, she was lucky to go home later that day and continues to draw on her own battles to help others. After a high-speed fall off his electric skateboard, cat enclosure maker Tim was diagnosed with a fractured shoulder, a broken hand and a ruptured ligament in his knee.
You're such a strange cat.
And it's been a very bumpy road to recovery.
So about 3 months in, I had all my braces off. I started back at the gym. I even took the skateboard out for one little sneaky session in the morning, the day before I broke my leg again.
Hey, miss.
I was at a really good mate's wedding, and at the end of the night, someone fell on my leg. This time around, I needed surgery, and it's been easier and harder. This time I've got my hands, I can be on the computer and answer the phone, but harder in the sense that it's just longer.
The recovery will take up to 12 months, so Tim's thankful to have good employees and girlfriend Rachel to help out.
Working hard.
Well, hardly working. Super lucky that I have the one of a kind Rach. She just does everything for me.
Need you to be back in tip-top shape looking after me soon. I've struggled more so than him this time around. He's not really able to do anything at all, helping out, so getting a bit of a cranky pants on.
It'll fly by, just like last time.
But I like having him around most of the time.
Thanks for my coffee.
You're welcome.
8-year-old Lana was taken to hospital after a frightening seizure that no one could explain.
I can't seem to find a source of anything at the moment.
Sadly, there's been multiple seizures since. Extensive testing has been carried out on Lana to find out why. With a newborn in the house, it's been a stressful time for parents Annabelle and Bob, but they finally have some answers.
There was significant evidence to say that she has generalised epilepsy, and it's a good thing for us to now know that there is a diagnosis. We can now move forward with care plans. She is on medication and it seems to be going well. We still want her to be able to do everything she wants to do, football and all that sort of thing, but we just need to make sure we wear the right protective gear.
The whole family has had to adapt. None better than Lana's 5-year-old sister, Clark, who rushed to Lana's rescue when she had one of her worst seizures at school.
Knowing what to do when her big sister has a seizure, to be able to put her into a safe position, I can't put it into words how proud I am of her. She really is a hero.
The news of Clark's courage made it back to the paramedics, who came up with a surprise to acknowledge her bravery.
This is from the ambulance Victoria. They wanted to present you with this certificate for all the help that you gave to Lana on the day she had her seizure at school. Very proud, extremely proud.
Wow.
Isn't that fantastic?
Thank you.
If this guy survives, he may never lead a normal life again.
It's the ultimate.
Stay still, stay still.
Life or death.
This patient could be bleeding out.
Race against the clock.
We are really concerned because we don't know what the outcome's going to be.
Next Wednesday, what's the split-second decision?
We have about 30 seconds.
That could save this woman's life.
I am worried that this might be an end-of-life event for her.
New Paramedics, next Wednesday on 9.